I now turn it over to Dr. James Leutze, who is our co-chair of our History Center Board of Advisors.
Thank you, Mac. And folks, we really are impressed with the turnout that we got today. It's wonderful to know that we have this kind of interest and this kind of support. We've been working on this museum for a long time. I personally can tell you that my hair was black when we started, so that we have put a lot of effort into this and a lot of thought, and I think that the city of Fayetteville and the state of North Carolina are going to be very proud of what we have accomplished. Max said I'm a historian, and one of those things that I always had to explain to my history students at Chapel Hill was that history changes, that it's not one of those things that you write down and you've got it and you know exactly what happened and that's it. Well, actually, history is a living science of trying to figure out why things happened. And we're constantly getting new information. We gather new records. We have new perspectives of people as they grow older and learn more and so on. So, as an example, I don't know how many of you saw, but the History Channel this last weekend had a documentary on Ulysses S. Grant. Well, when I taught Ulysses S. Grant at Chapel Hill, I pictured him as a sort of incompetent old drunk who finally blundered into victory in the war and then became an awful president. Well, that's not the current view of U.S. Grant. Grant is seen as a very different character. The other thing that I'm struck by is that I am sometimes asked by people, has the country ever been this divided before? And the answer I give them is yes, during the Civil War and leading up to the Civil War. So I don't think until we live through this divisive period that we're living through, can we truly understand how the Civil War split the country and split North Carolina. The final point is that North Carolina was, in my view, the country in microcosm. That is, there were people here who were for the war, there are people here who were against the war, there are people here who were neutral, and people who changed from one to the other depending upon what soldier happened to be in town that day. So the Civil War in North Carolina is an example of the Civil War in the entire country. The same is true with the issues that divided the country before the war and during the period of Reconstruction. And if there's one thing I hope we accomplish with this museum is clarifying in people's minds what Reconstruction was. There were several Reconstructions. Not everything that happened after 1865 was Reconstruction. And I also think that we today are maybe going through a third Reconstruction. So again, history is not static. It is not something you write down, you understand, you have it all. It's a dynamic, evolving understanding of the world that we lived in and the world that we live in today. So this museum will help with that. I'm very enthusiastic about it and have been for the 10 years or more that we've been working on it. So thank you all for coming back. It's up to you.